Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Perma Power Talk. I'm your host, Fred Rittenauer, a regional sales manager here at Perma USA, and I am here today with Jay Foster, one of our business development managers. And today we're going to go over the Reliable Plant Show that just happened in June. Jay, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me. Episode 2, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Excited to kick things off. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Reliable Plant Show is as a whole, and then after that we'll dive into kind of what our booth looked like and what that day looked like since you were at the show with the team.
Yeah, for sure. So this year it was put on obviously by Noria. It's our first year that we were exhibiting, that we had our own booth. You know, traditionally in the past we were partnered up. We would go with other vendors, other partners of ours, but it was exciting to have our own booth this time. So we had 7 of our people there in a 10 by 10 booth, so it was a little bit packed, but we had 2 regional sales managers, 2 business development managers, marketing, our president, CEO obviously, and then our VP of sales. So we needed everybody, all hands on deck, right? It did not slow down at all.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It definitely sounds like it was a packed booth. From the pictures I saw, it didn't look like you guys had much room to walk around in that thing.
No. Well, the good thing is we had such a good show that we signed up for next year's show on Wednesday. So we will have a 10 by 20 booth. We'll have plenty more room to show all of our stuff and pack everybody in there. So it'll be a good time in Reno next year.
That's awesome. Yeah, some of the pictures that we posted on LinkedIn from our Perma profile, it looked as if there was a lot of people that were coming to the booth. What do you think the main draw was, or the main attraction that was bringing so many people to it?
Yeah, definitely. So the setup was great. What we were featuring this year was obviously all of our connected solutions, right? So particularly around the Star Vario line, we had the LoRa product and the LoRa Gateway. Same thing with Bluetooth, and then some of our other ones with intrinsically safe options, things like that. So a lot of our competitors, other exhibitors, even the end users had seen Perma product, but maybe not known what our new innovations were around the connected and IoT-based solutions. So that was really exciting to show.
How are those conversations different from previous years? I see things out in the field when I'm talking to customers about these new connected solutions, and to me, it's almost like crazy how much of a light bulb goes off of now the value of single point lubricators. Not that it wasn't there in the past, but it seems as if this connected solution is really making a noise out in the industry.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and some of it is some of it's hype, right? I think that was a lot of what the talks were around is, the big hype now is AI, right? AI this, AI that, and everything. But I think specific to our stuff, specific to single point lubricators, it used to be we were selling over a manual solution, right? So you were going from a manual lubricating, maybe on a time base, maybe not, to now, hey, you just have this thing and you set it up and you set it for 6 months and you forget about it. Now the what they say, data is everything, right? So now it's not just, hey, I want to set that up and forget about it, but now I want to see the information that drive is sending back to us, right? And so we see that in a lot of different things, right? So there's vibration monitoring, condition monitoring, ultrasound, a lot of different companies that are out there that are providing this data. And so that was, I think, a lot of our conversations were, hey, this is not just your typical Star Vario or Flex or anything that, like that from the past, but you can see we had the visual setup of the conveyor system, everything like that. But then awesome. The cool thing was we had the Perma Connect going in the background, right? Okay. So that was live. So you could see, hey, this Bluetooth drive here, this is assigned to the drive side of the pulley. Here's what it looks like. Here's the information. Here's what we can show. So I think that was really cool. It's a practical use case and very, very indicative and mirrors exactly what our end users are doing day in and day out.
Yep. That's nice. It almost pulls people closer into the booth so that way they can actually see the experience and interact with the platform from a visual standpoint instead of just talking about it or showing a flyer from it. I know that, or I heard that Lane and Johannes gave a presentation. Was it around this solution, or what was that seminar presentation that they gave at the Reliable Plant Show?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like we said, it was exciting for us this year because it was our first time exhibiting, having our own booth, but we also participated in the keynote and learning sections. So yeah, Johannes and Lane talked. The title of their speech was Industrial Evolution and Plant Reliability, Embracing the Future of Connected and Condition-Based Lubrication.
That's a mouthful.
Right? So that covers all of it. But very well received, right? So again, they laid out kind of what we talked about a little bit before of what the evolution of single point lubricators looks like, and went through all of that. And it even included a case study. So like an aggregate facility, it looked out and outlined, hey, here's what we proposed at an end user site, and it was real use case data. So it was very well received. I know we're just getting the feedback, right? So everybody scanned their QR codes and gave feedback of the session. Somebody said it was the absolute best session that they attended for the whole show. So, maybe we need to get Lane and Johannes to have a side gig for speaking. But
there we go.
That was great. Like I said, it just really further entrenched our involvement and showcasing our solutions to the broader groups there, both from the speaker side and the end user side.
Yeah, that's great. I do know that if you guys are interested in hearing what that keynote was about, or if you want to check it out, we will be posting that on our social media, or wherever you hear this podcast. We'll post that keynote as well. So that way you can hear it firsthand from Johannes and Lane, who are both in leadership positions, CEO and VP of sales here at Perma. So you get to hear it from the guys in charge, which will be nice. I'm excited to watch that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So you brought up connected drives, LoRa, Bluetooth. You brought up what was the third one?
Like PermaConnect on the dashboard software, any of that type of stuff?
Yeah, so the connected ones, but from a condition-based monitoring standpoint, I know that there was things that were also done at the Reliable Plant Show that we might have made the industry aware of, or something that happened. So for those that don't know about it, I don't know if you want to break the news to them of what Perma's partnership looks like with a new solution.
No, for sure. No, this was obviously great timing for a maintenance and reliability show to showcase our new partnership, right? So we launched a new product with UE Systems at the show. So a lot of people are familiar with UE Systems. They do the handheld ultrasound machines. They've had a solution called On Track. So that is a full condition-based lubrication program. Started out as a wired solution, but has migrated to wireless. And over the past year, we've worked and helped them come up with the Ultra Track Vario, right? So we released that at Reliable Plant, and just a great experience, from that standpoint. So we got to have both of our teams there, showcase the solution. Very briefly, what it is our lubricator, right, is 1/3 of the hardware solution from their side. So they've got the sensor that's monitoring ultrasound vibration temperature, got a gateway, and then our connected Bluetooth drive in there. So this is unique, how we talked about, again, that evolution from, time-based to maybe, other condition-based. But this is really setting a new standard so that, they do all of their stuff in terms of baselining the equipment. It's got that sensor. So instead of setting it for 6 months or 12 months and just letting it run based on a time base, it really goes condition-based. So it is sensing, again, based on that baseline, changes in decibel level. So it's going to know exactly when to lubricate that piece of equipment based on the data that it's getting back from those sensors. So just really cool from the technology standpoint, and it's providing fantastic value for the customer. So that was really exciting to showcase and unveil and be able to share resources between our teams, and I think it was very well received.
Oh, that's great. For those that might not know, are there certain applications, certain industries at the Reliable Plant Show that would focus more on the condition-based monitoring over time-based monitoring for this solution than partnership with UE?
Yeah, so like I'm putting on my engineer hat now, so like everything, it depends, right? But I think there's some qualification questions, obviously, we can help you go through with that, with those teams, but how critical is the asset, right? So there's rotating equipment and all kinds of stuff at various different plants, right? We can find a place to put a single point lubricator, as you're, very well aware. But for something like this, where it's got, a little bit higher of a price tag, higher technology, higher involvement in terms of building out the infrastructure, you're going to look at, criticality, right? Like I said, so if this goes down, does the whole plant go down type thing? And then, are there any hard to access areas, stuff like that? Again, some of the normal qualifications that we go to that could help save on that ROI. So it's really, the industries that we're in right now, a lot of, food and beverage, light medium manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, pulp and paper, things like that. So it's really, up to the individual site, and then, the what problems we're solving on site there for our customers.
Okay, awesome. Well, it seems like Perma made quite the statement at the show. Were there other hot topics that people were talking about? Were we the latest and greatest buzz of the show? What else did you guys see while you were there?
Certainly. No, I think the hot topics were around, again, AI, and the connected devices, right? Utilizing data in a way that's going to benefit your people. So a lot of the AI stuff, and then again, a lot of wireless, connected condition monitoring type companies, right? So I think we talked about before, so it's kind of similar. We used to have some wired products, things like that, but really it's wireless, it's on demand, quick setup, quick feedback. That's really what is out there in the market right now, or what's being generated.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how much of this industry is getting technology integrated in with it. I don't think anybody, hell, even 10 years ago would have thought that we would have had connected technology or solutions at that Zerk fitting or point for our single point lubricators. So the fact that we're able to have this much visibility, and then there's other assets that can be tracked and managed on there to help make it perform as optimal as possible is pretty crazy.
No, for sure. And I think the really cool thing for us exhibiting there is seeing how our different partners and vendors take our product to market, right? So there were even, you talk about technology and stuff like that, we even had lubricant partners that were there, right?
Yep.
So they have our lubricants, and they are specially designing lubricants for an application and use Perma as the delivery system, right? That's really cool and innovative. There are other condition monitoring companies that use, our Star control or Bluetooth or anything like that. So that's exciting from that standpoint, is that we're showcasing our, connected solutions and what we are bringing to the market in terms of technological innovation. But we definitely don't want to minimize the fact that we have partners out there that are doing what we're doing, and then even more, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Bringing really cool solutions to the market, like I said, even from a lubricant standpoint all the way up to connected and some of the other condition-based true lubrication that we talked about.
Yeah. Focused a lot on Perma so far, but was there anything from a competition standpoint in the space that we play in that maybe they announced or that they did or that you noticed at the show?
Yeah, no, definitely we had some of our competitors there. I think, smaller show, there's about 120 exhibitors and things like that, so we saw some familiar faces within our space. I think the differentiating point for our product was just, again, showcasing the entire portfolio of not just the time-based or a Bluetooth or connected solution, but the LoRa, the intrinsically safe, the EX versions. So when you really look into an offering for specialized applications, I think you're finding it at the Perma booth.
Yeah, that's awesome. I should have asked this in the beginning, because there's definitely going to be people that's watching this podcast or watching this episode, and they have no idea what the Reliable Plant Show is just as a whole, or maybe they have an idea or a concept, but they play in our industry. And so could you let me know what the people that were coming to visit the booth, like what industries they played in, or a lot of the big, I guess you could think of it as like customers that were there that we were speaking to? Yeah,
for sure. So there's kind of, the way they outline it, there's three main groups that are at Reliable Plant. So it's the speakers. So that's everybody that puts on the keynotes, the workshops, everything like that. I mean, that's what makes it a full week, is there's a lot to do and a lot to get through. And then there's the exhibitors, which is, us as well. So we have the exhibit hall, and that's open in between sessions so people can come around and, like, for example, when Lane and Johannes did their talk, we had a big surge in activity at our booth after that, right? Because people wanted to check out, hey, maybe like you said, I'm new to this, or I want to see something different. I want to kind of check on, see how this applies to me and my site. So that's group number two on the exhibitors, and then the other side is just the attendees, right? So We would call them, practitioners, but these are people that are living out, reliability and maintenance every day.
Okay.
So, quick stats. There were over 500 different companies represented. A lot of them, brought teams of people with them, so that was really cool to see. 47 different states. There were a bunch of international attendees as well. I think 30 different countries. All 6 continents were represented. So, yeah, really diverse attendee pool from that standpoint. So in terms of industries, it was everything, right? So, I think even you weren't at the show, but we had, people from your territory here in the Southeast that were attending, right? So that just shows you the pool. So I think that was really cool to, see that and then match up and have some good follow-up, start the conversation there at the booth and then have some good follow-up here afterwards.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's always great going to those because, again, people are just walking around and sometimes you catch somebody that could really utilize what we offer, the things that we do, but may have never heard about us out there. So it's been great to connect with the contacts that you guys have passed over to, the sales team and everything to help just see how we can align and partner more with them. So I always like trade shows. I always like going to them. Maybe there's something in the future. What's next for PERMA? Are we going to be back at this thing?
Well, like I said, we signed up. We already signed up for the next one there. So next year in June, will be Reliable Plant. It'll be in Reno, Tahoe area, so out west. So that'll be a little bit different, change of pace, right? So I've been going to Reliable Plant since 2023 when it was in Orlando.
Okay.
So then we've had the last 2 years, 24 and 25, have been in Schaumburg or Chicago area. So it'll be, nice change of pace. So we can go out west and, maybe catch some skiing or something like that ahead of time.
So are we going to be announcing anything new at that show as well? Is there anything in the horizon for PERMA?
You don't have to wait till next year. We've got some other events and PERMA conferences that we're going to attend coming up. So here in October, we'll be at SMRP in Fort Worth, Texas. So that's October 6th through 9th. So we'll be exhibiting there. Similar makeup to the Reliable Plant Show attendees, I think, but Society for Maintenance and Reliability Professionals. So we're excited to attend that show, but we'll also be debuting a new product related to our connected solutions at that show. So definitely stay tuned for more, and we'll be able to share some more details around that show and then afterwards.
Awesome. We better be careful or people are going to think we're going to announce new products at every show we go to. So that is exciting.
Get R&D. Tell R&D to stay busy. But I think that's a good thing.
Awesome. Well, we covered a lot on the Reliable Plant Show. I appreciate you giving us insight to what it looked like from a PERMA standpoint, but also what people can expect if they plan to attend the one next year, knowing that we'll be there as well. So hopefully you guys stop by our booth then. But we will have an upcoming podcast where we have a guest from UE on talking more in depth about that partnership that Jay had brought up in this episode, as well as more guests coming down the line. So, Jay, I appreciate you jumping on the pod. And,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'll close this one out until the next PERMA Power Talk.